how I have my feet connected to him. Now Keith's gonna block past my feet, move around, put his knee on my belly. Right there. And in this moment, this is where it's like, now I have to make a choice. Do I try to move my hip out and create more opportunities for him? Or do I bring my knees up? Right now, it doesn't really serve me to bring my knee up because I can kind of unbalance him maybe a little bit, but there's not much here. So this exercise, let's go back. When I ask, just freeze. He's gonna come around the corner again and start to put his knee, just freeze. This space here, you see this angle? There's always a gap between his thigh and his calf. One of the things that we want to try to do, you can do this in the gi too, but in no gi, it's going to help you a lot, is anticipate when this knee starts to go over the hip, I bring my knee to the inside. And you notice both my knees come up. And what I want to do from here is, as he comes around, I circle and trap. Now it's just a pinch, and I keep the bite on his knee. Two things we can do from here. One is I have a clear attack on his heel. We'll go after the heel hook. Or the other option is I'll keep the top leg engaged, swim my arm through, and we just move across. Just to pin his hip, and then just start working towards side control. Right here, as soon as he comes around, this. And the more weight, once I get in here, if he puts his weight down, he actually helps me. And I keep the bite. If I don't bite on his knee, he extracts his knee, gets up, and I kind of lose. I want to hold this right here. If he cannot take that knee out, he's not getting up. And your whole body's connected. My top leg is a little, not too much extension because I don't want to, this is my primary thing right now. If you control the knee, you manage his hip. But as I swim my arm under, I start to engage that leg to start to drive his knee away. And all I want to do, I don't want to come up and go to this side because his knee's waiting for me. If I come up this way, I walk right into his guard. When I come up, knees away, we go into what we call the leg drag position. I just bring my knee in, work underhook, both underhooks. Now I can turn and I'm in a much better pinning position. We're gonna start at distance. It's a very functional drill to help you when you lose, when as soon as they get around your feet, my knees walk in here. And whoever's on top, start to put the knee on the stomach. Pinch, bite, pinch here. You see I can come up on my elbow and just swim the arm through. The other, an easier option in the beginning, if you want, is just when you get under the leg, turn your whole body. You can even just do that, just to get his knees away from you. But if you want back exposure, the leg drag is the way to go. Sorry, right here. See? Pinch. I create extension, drive his knees away, staple. This is leg drag right here. Or I bite, come through, and then just turn and just physically push his legs away. Okay? Any questions?
Why is it called leg?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Keith.
So you don't bite right away?
Yes, no, you do, Karen.
You do?
You do. If you, right away, as soon as Keith starts to put his knee down,
You bite.
right here. And then to answer your question, Fabio, because I know I heard what you just said, I'm just going to take you down, Keith. The reason why we call it leg drag, you know how we do the arm drag, where the arm gets pulled across? I'm taking his leg across the line of his body. Like I did earlier, I can just push his knees this way, but Keith can always turn back into me, like he has the ability to frame. The leg drag, I'm stapling his leg and I keep his knee across the side of his body. So now it's very hard for him to turn back.
Got it.
And once I get here, when I go under, this is almost going to always lead to the back. Much harder for him to turn back into me. But you think of the leg drag, just like the arm drag. I'm getting his leg across
Right.
his body and my body.
Got it. So dragging his leg.
Yes. It comes from the idea that we're pulling the leg across, but in reality, most of the time is we make a little angle and then we fold the leg across. Because trying to physically pull someone's leg across is too strong.
Right.
Yes.
Can I see the injury, like maybe in slow motion?
Before he does, this is all you guys are doing. Okay. So Keith, go ahead. As he comes around, see? I just circle and bite.
You bite right at the knee.
Right at the knee line, see? And then you see, we call it windshield wiping. I just take my knees across.
You don't have to hold his forearm for a post.
No. You can if you want, but it's not necessary. This is really what I'm working on, right here. And then when I start to come up, this leg always, you see?
Push.
Yeah, I want to make sure I need to create a little separation. You can go this way. A little bit more advanced way of doing it is when I drop him, I hold the top of his knee and go over. There's different configurations on how we finish this. The most important thing I want from you guys right now is to get this motion, because we're gonna do a little bit of a progression here where you need this. Right here. We're starting with a lot of space. Then we're gonna integrate this more into how we escape when the knee is tight and there's no room.
If his ankle was right there under your armpit, wouldn't you be able to hit your knees and grab that and do a heel hook from there?
Yeah, that's how we I don't know if you were on the floor when we started, but this was one of the first options.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it.
Yes. And Karen, don't do this in the gi class. No heel hooks in the gi class. This is just special for us in here. Okay, any questions? Let's go. 1, 2, 3. The way I always look at it, you need to make a choice. And the choice is based on where his pressure is. Most of the time, you're gonna find like they concentrate a lot of it on the knee, which if I feel a lot of that weight on the knee, that means he's light on his foot. All his weight is on my stomach right now. So the first thing I wanna do, I'm not gonna even try to move my hip because it's too much pressure. But I manage where is he light, it's his foot. So I'm gonna block the knee, but the inside knee, we're always taught to keep our knees up, but this kind of hurts us in this situation. That inside knee drops, and all I wanna do is bring my knee to the inside. But this is not enough, because he can still go shoot to 3/4 mount, like this, or even knee cut. It's still bad because his knee is over my hip line. So as soon as I catch his foot, I have to move my hip now and let his knee collapse. Then we can work from half guard, or I can come all the way out to full guard. But when you're late, and this is just something that takes time, I feel a lot of pressure on my hip. This isn't the time for me to start trying to hip escape. I'm gonna block his foot. You notice I don't push, I just block. Bottom leg extends, and we just go elbow to knee, and then immediately hip out. Then you can, like I said, we can go right into your game if your half guard is your game, or I still have this inside frame. I move my hip the other direction and go all the way out to close guard. So this is step 2. Your partner is going to be here. Now what happens if I go to push his foot and he puts his weight on his foot and I move my hip out? The key here, if you're newer to the game, is not to escape the cross body. It's just to remove the knee from your stomach. As you get more experience, you'll escape the whole position altogether. But what we're doing right now is examining what I never want you guys doing is the wrong option for the wrong amount of pressure. If there's a lot of weight on your stomach, resist the urge to try to move, because you can injure yourself. If there's a lot of weight on your stomach, where is there not as much pressure? So when he has his knee here and Keith is putting all the weight on my stomach, I stay crunched. right here, all the way out, like this. Or I go to block his foot, he shifts his weight. See, I don't even feel it that much on my stomach now. Block the knee, move my hip. Then we can continue on with our pathway out of side control. But the number one thing, the most important thing is we get the knee off our stomach. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Let's go. This is number 2. 1, 2, 3. Pressure, and as a beginner, we tend to fixate on that pressure because it's uncomfortable. But with time, you begin to embrace the pressure because you realize, okay, if this is where they're holding me, I know where I'm going to get out. It's where there's no pressure. So you always want to protect yourself, but you don't panic. So now, same thing. He's going to come around, tight, knee on stomach. But sometimes, even though in theory it's right, he's really good at distributing his weight. The knee hurts, the foot hurts. It's like, I'm not quite sure which one is going to be my stronger option. Because it's no gi, I don't really have to worry about lapels. So all I'm doing is with my arms, my outside arm, I move my hip a little bit and cup the back of his calf. Right here. This hand, I just cup under his, behind his knee. Just like this. All I'm doing, I need a little commitment first. I go to the outside. See my hip work? If he doesn't follow me, my hip's gonna come right out. But usually when I do this, yes, see? He's gonna try to push my hips back down. So as soon as I move out and I feel the weight, my hip, sorry, Keith, my hip goes the other way. I wanna anchor his leg to my hip. So my initial movement is here and here. And then all we're doing, it's your hip work. It's very important. This is just a baseline way you can warm up your hips. We do our hip escape, and then once we're sideways, we're doing a U. My hip goes under, and I'm just hip escaping to the other side. So when my partner gets me in here, all I'm doing is I'm moving my hip a little bit, but here's the contact. I move a little bit more, then under. And then we're gonna do it one more time because Keith's gonna give me what I'm gonna eventually expect. When I go like this and he follows me, when I go under, he backs out. Then I back out again. My hips come right out. Because he's gonna get wise to this and he'll start to create disconnect. Then your hip is free. You'll feel the pressure come right off. So all you're doing, I just wanna show the control first. Here, it's like a little clamp right here, but the most important one is this one. I grab right on the back of his calf, right above his ankle, and pin his leg to my hip. And then we're just moving out, and then based on what he does, we're cutting in or coming back. Make sense?
Yes. Would he ever, instead of disengaging, just go down until it's side control?
That's always an option, but again, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I just want the knee off my stomach.
Because either way, you're in a better position.
Yes, yes. The knee on stomach is a progression to something much worse. So I'd rather create a little, you know, I just want to win this battle, and then I'll put my chances on our pin escapes, our side control escapes. We have much stronger frames and things from there. And honestly, the chance of injury is a lot less. The problem is when you put your body in a spot it's not designed to move from, and you try to move it.
Yeah,
That's what I want to avoid for you guys so you don't get hurt. We good? Let's go. 1, 2, 3.